Before institutions like stock exchanges or central banks existed to shape today's economic world, one civilization discovered a truth that would determine who held power for centuries. Control the gold trade, and you control the world around you. Welcome to Money Legacy. In this video, we'll explore how ancient Egypt built its economic, political, and diplomatic power over centuries by controlling gold resources. If you want to stay updated on content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the ancient Near East, gold was not just jewelry or decoration. It was the ultimate store of value, durable, rare, and universally desired. Kingdoms fought wars over it, rulers measured their prestige by it, and diplomacy often revolved around it. For more than 1,000 years, one kingdom had an advantage few others could match. Ancient Egypt was not only a civilization that traded gold, it was also a producer of it. In fact, Egypt controlled some of the richest gold deposits in the ancient world, and its rulers established a highly organized system to extract, manage, and distribute this gold. While other civilizations struggled with limited access to precious metals, Egyptian pharaohs controlled a steady flow of gold from the deserts to the south and east of the Nile. This flow of gold quietly became one of the foundations of Egypt's power. In the ancient world, controlling the supply of gold was nearly the same as controlling the ultimate financial asset. To understand how Egypt built one of the earliest resource-based financial systems in history, we need to start with geography. The Nile Valley itself was not particularly rich in precious metals. While its fertile lands produced abundant grain, its gold wealth came from regions beyond its narrow agricultural zone. To the south lay Nubia, covering parts of modern southern Egypt and northern Sudan. To the east was the harsh eastern desert, separating the Nile from the Red Sea. These regions were home to quartz veins rich in gold, buried deep within the rocks. The ancient Egyptians discovered these deposits very early in their history. In fact, it is believed that the Egyptian word for gold, Nub, gave Nubia its name. For the pharaohs who ruled the Nile Valley, Nubia became synonymous with wealth. But finding gold was only the beginning. Extracting it from the desert was a massive logistical challenge. The deposits were far from water and farmland. The terrain was extremely harsh, and temperatures could reach levels that made continuous work nearly impossible. Despite this, Egyptian rulers organized large-scale mining operations in these remote regions for centuries. These were not small efforts by individual miners. This was a state-run project. Expeditions were planned, workers were gathered, and they were transported into the desert under military supervision. Supplies had to be carried, water had to be secured, and workers needed shelter. In some cases, temporary settlements were even built solely for gold extraction. Archaeological evidence in the eastern desert reveals stone-crushing areas, grinding facilities, and camps that housed hundreds or even thousands of workers. These were not random ventures, they were state-managed economic operations. The workers in these mines came from various sources. Some were skilled laborers, but many were forced workers. Prisoners of war also formed a significant part of the workforce. For them, the mines were not an opportunity, but a punishment. Ancient historians describe these conditions in dark terms. Workers would spend hours breaking rocks in confined spaces, then grind them into powder and wash them to extract gold. The Greek historian Diodorus Siculus wrote about these mines with a mix of admiration and horror. According to him, even women and children were forced to work until exhaustion. The process was extremely labor-intensive. Rock was broken, crushed, and then washed with water to separate the gold. It was exhausting, but effective. The extracted gold was transported to the Nile Valley and tightly controlled by the state. This control was crucial because the Egyptian economy did not rely on coinage for a long time. Coins only appeared much later, during periods of foreign rule. Instead, value was measured using weight units, such as the deben. Gold functioned less as everyday currency and more as a state reserve asset. Pharaohs stored large quantities of gold in treasuries and temples. This gold was used to reward loyalty, finance projects, support wars, and conduct diplomacy. This gave Egypt a major advantage in international relations. Powers such as Babylon, Mitanni, and the Hittites had their own resources, but they could not match Egypt in gold production. As a result, Egyptian gold became a powerful diplomatic tool. One of the strongest pieces of evidence for this is the Amarna letters, tablets containing correspondence between the pharaoh and other kings. A recurring theme in these letters is gold. Foreign rulers frequently requested gold. One Babylonian king even wrote that gold in Egypt was as plentiful as dust. While exaggerated, this statement clearly reflects Egypt's reputation. Gold was a tool that strengthened alliances and shaped relationships. Gold was not only tied to diplomacy, but also to the authority of the pharaoh. Religious texts described the flesh of the gods as being made of gold. Temples were adorned with it, turning gold into a sacred symbol. By controlling gold, the pharaoh was not only managing an economic resource, but also a power considered divine. However, this system had a weakness: control. Gold production required constant organization. If political power weakened, mines and supply routes could be lost. Indeed, when Egypt declined, control over Nubia was sometimes lost. This reduced the flow of gold, weakened the treasury, diminished diplomatic influence, and made military campaigns more difficult. This is a pattern seen throughout history. When a civilization ties its power to a single resource, that resource becomes both an advantage and a dependency. Egypt remained strong for centuries, so the system worked. But the lesson extends to the modern world. In the 20th century, oil played a similar role. Today, rare minerals and technological resources hold comparable importance. The conclusion remains the same. Economic power often comes from controlling a scarce and valuable resource. Egypt's success was not just in possessing gold, but in turning it into a system. Mines produced it, the state organized it, the treasury controlled it, and the pharaoh directed its use. This may not look like modern finance, but it was a strategy. Financial power could exist even without interest rates or central banks. Gold gave Egypt power. It gave influence. It formed the foundation of a long-lasting civilization. But it also revealed an important truth. Wealth is not just about possession. The real issue is control. Whoever controls where the resource comes from, where it goes, and how it is perceived holds the true power. And for over 1,000 years, the gold flowing from the desert south of the Nile gave Egypt exactly that power. Thanks for watching until the end. If you want to stay instantly updated on content like this and learn how money shapes power, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Stay wealthy.